Hey, what's up you guys? It's Tiara and I'm back today with another video. Today's video is going to be a story time, my first story time, so that should be fun. Well, what I'm going to tell you guys today is my coming out story. For those of you who may not be aware, I am indeed of homosexual descent, meaning I am gay, I am a lesbian. And so, surprise if you don't know. But, so yeah, I'm going to tell you the story of basically how I came out to, like, my best friends, as well as to my mom, and, like, how everybody else found out, blah, blah, blah. And also got me a little drink, a little drink, to help me tell the story. Just a little early Monday afternoon mimosa. So, let me give you a little backstory about my little gay ass. It all started December 1st, 1992. I'm just kidding. Well, probably. Basically, ever since I can remember, I've, like, been attracted to girls. Like, I've loved girls. And when I was younger, I really didn't know what that was or what that meant or whatever, because, of course, like, there was no... Like, when I tell y'all, I didn't know shit about, like, gay people or being gay or anything like that. Because it wasn't on TV. No one, like, my family never discussed it. Like, I was just oblivious. My earliest memory, like, clear memory, is probably about, like, first grade. First grade is when I had the biggest crush on my teacher. Miss Baker, she was just fine. She was fine, y'all. And she wasn't, like, an older teacher. Like, she was, I mean, of course, then she was, like, old. But then she couldn't have been that old. She probably, like, had to be in her 20s or something. Yeah, I just looked at her. I was like,
she's pretty.
And, like, at the time, like, I don't know if I, like, liked her or whatever. But I was just like,
oh my god, she's so pretty. She's so pretty.
And I, like, looking back on it now, I'm like, girl, you gay. But, like, at the time, like, it was, I just thought she was really fucking pretty. Like, the boys, I never really looked at the boys and was like, oh, he cute. Like, not at the same, on the same level as I would look at the girls. Like, I would see some boys be like, oh, they cute. And then as I got older, I was at that age, so, like, my friends and my cousins, they were all like, boy, crazy. So, of course, I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon and be like,
ooh, he's so fine. Ooh, da-da-da-da, ooh.
I was portraying the role of a typical teenager, basically. A typical teenage girl. And so, like, I was always into, like, girly shit for the most part. As I grew older, I don't know, I increasingly, like, I had boyfriends. Like, I remember in the 3rd grade, I had this little boyfriend named Patrick. He was my boo. I remember he was like,
ooh, can I kiss your hand?
And I was like,
whatever. Sure.
Back in the day, like, I had boyfriends, like, growing up in high school and college, like, talking to dudes, like, dating guys, because that's what I was supposed to do, right? Like, I didn't want to be different, but I knew I was. Like, I lied to myself for so long. Like, I knew that I wasn't about that life, and, like, I lied to myself poorly, because I would go online and I would still, like, talk to girls. I remember I had this full, like, girlfriend nobody knew about, like, texting her and all of this stuff. So yeah, like, I was gay as hell. I remember, I have 2 vivid memories of my childhood of me, like, basically telling myself. The first one, I had to be in, like, 3rd or 4th, maybe middle school, and I was, like, on, like, this treadmill, and I was just thinking, and then I told myself, I'm like, you're gay. And then it was like a sense of, that makes sense. And I quickly, like, snapped out of
it. We're not gonna do that. Not today. Not I.
And then I kept on, like, pushing it to the back of my head, And then the other time, I remember this very vividly, it was me and my 2 cousins, to whom I'm, like, very close with. And they live in another state. And basically, all 3 of us, we were at the park. And we were sitting at this bench, and there was these boys playing basketball. And they were like, ooh, they so cute. Ooh, they so cute. And of course, my ass is like,
ooh, they fine. Oh my god, da da da.
And then once again, and I just had this moment in my head, and it's like,
bitch, you gay. Stop pretending. Like, this ain't your ministry, boo. This is not your thing.
even then, like, I just swept it under the rug, swept it under the rug. I got to high school. That's when I really found more out about, like, gay people. Like, I met my best friend, he's gay, and then you hear about all these different girls who are, like, gay or bi, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I had a friend who was, like, more of a stud, like, all this stuff, and I was so jealous of her. I'm like, fuck, she's out, she could be herself. Like, all of these people who were, like, out, I was, like, kind of jealous. And I will always have this constant battle within my head. Seemingly, like, every day, it'd be like,
you're gay. No, I'm not. You're gay. No, I'm not. You're gay. No, I'm not. I can't be gay. I can't be gay because this. Like, no, you are.
and so it's this constant battle every day, basically until I came out. At a certain point, I did admit to myself, like, okay, you're bi. And so that did take, like, a load off, because we were finally getting somewhere. So I basically, like, lived this. I didn't tell anybody. Like, my best friend didn't tell it. So yeah, so finally, I know y'all like, bitch,
get to the coming out part.
finally, we get to my friend's 21st birthday. Hashtag 21. That's a story time in itself. If you want to hear that story, because it's a lot, let's get it to 21 thumbs up. And I will give you guys a story time on hashtag 21 and all the extra shit that went into that. But anyway, so my friend's 21st birthday, my first time getting, like, drunk for real. And baby went, anyway, get it 21 thumbs up. I got you. Anyway, so yes, my friend's 21st birthday, first time I had, like, gotten drunk for real. And when I learned that when I drink, I talk. Anything that's been in my head, shit's coming out. We're in the club, and I vaguely remember, like, saying something to the effect that, like, oh, I like girls. Like, the next day or whatever, like, we was reminiscing on the night, and she talked about it, like, she mentioned it, but she was like, oh, you did say you like girls, but I ain't really think nothing of it. And then we moved on. Yeah, so fast forward to probably my 21st birthday, probably, or something after that, where I was drinking, and I was drunk again. And I was telling my friend, like,
both, like,
I had to make sure that was in there. Like, I still like boys. It was the next day. She was like, you like girls? I know you said that, like, on my birthday, but, like, you like girls for real? Like, I was like, yeah, like, I'm bi. Like, for the most part, she was pretty cool about it. Like, the only thing that she had an issue with was the fact that I felt like I couldn't tell her, or that I hadn't told her. And she was, like, low-key, like, for real upset with me about that. And I had to tell her, like, it took me freaking 21 or 22, however many years, to admit it to myself, let alone, like, admit it to someone else. And so, like, where I do understand where you're coming from, and I do understand why you're upset. This moment right here is not really about you. It's about me finally coming to terms with who I am. So once we got over that, everything's cool. Like, she's super supportive. Like, all my friends that I've told, super supportive, super cool. Like, it wasn't a big deal. I haven't lost any friends because of it. Like, it's been good. That lasted all, like, me being bi lasted all of, like, 3 days. And then I'm like, nah, bruh. I'm like, gay. I felt like me coming out gave me more freedom to explore my gender expression as well. Because, of course, like, men only gonna find you attractive if you super girly, or girly at the very least. But, like, by dating women, you can dress masculine and still have people find you very attractive, or feminine still have. So it gave me, like I said, it gave me more permission to explore. And so I cut my hair, and I liked it. I cut my hair, and then I bought, like, boy clothes and stuff like that. And I felt comfortable. Like, I didn't have to do too much. I wasn't extremely self-conscious. like I felt comfortable. Like, I would still dress girly from time to time, kind of like what I do now. And I don't know, I felt comfortable, and that's why I dress like I do now. Like some videos you may see me dressed like this, and some videos I may be super girly with fucking hoop earrings and a ponytail. It's because I don't know, I don't feel the need to have to be one or the other. To me, gender isn't black or white. It's whatever the fuck you want it to be. Like, be yourself and be what makes you comfortable. To be whatever you want it to be. Like, be yourself and do what makes you comfortable. If I wake up today and I want to just put on fucking jersey and snapback, that's what makes me comfortable for Monday. For Tuesday, shoot, it's hot as fuck. Let me put on these short shorts and this tank top and put my hair in this ponytail because that's what makes me comfortable. But I don't identify necessarily as a stud nor a femme. I just identify as fucking me. And so I'm comfortable with it. Who I'm dating is comfortable with it. That's all that matters. Honestly, if she wasn't comfortable with it, it still wouldn't make that big a difference to me because I'm comfortable with who the fuck I am. Sorry, went on a tangent. But anyway, back to the coming out story. And then it came time for like my mom or whatever. And for me that was difficult. And I remember we were in the car and we were like coming back from someplace. And I was trying to get her to tell me something because she was acting all extra secretive. And so I was like, I'll tell you my secret if you tell me yours. She was like, what's your secret? I was like, I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours. She was like, what is it? And so she wouldn't even tell me. Oh no, she did. She was like, it's no secret to tell, nigga. And so ultimately I was like,
I like girls, but I'm gay.
so I was extremely uncomfortable and I didn't know how to handle it and how to feel. So I'm like, but good for me because I didn't cry, but I did feel guilty. And for anyone that's coming out or plans on coming out, don't feel guilty. Please don't, because that's who you are. It wasn't a horrible experience. It wasn't bad. Like, I told her, like, everything I had told you guys, I told her. Like, I explained to her, like, oh no, this is just who I am and who I've always been, and I'm just finally accepting that, and I'm at a good place for that. And she was cool. Like, she was extremely accepting, like, I kind of had an idea. And, like, extremely, like, it was a positive experience. I made it more dramatic than what it really had to be. And then I remember, because, like, we finished the conversation, we were still sitting in the car outside my house, and I was supposed to go somewhere with my aunt, and she was there. So we, like, got out of the car or whatever, and I, like, got in the car with my aunt, and we went, I think it was my cousin's, like, birthday party, and we went there, and I just felt so bad, but yet so relieved at the same time. I remember texting her, like, I'm sorry, like, are you okay? Like, I felt like a child that, like, you know that feeling when you're in trouble and your mama like, when you get home, I got your ass. Like, I felt like that for some reason. Like, I was about to go home and get a whooping, and I had no reason why. Over time, I began to become more comfortable in myself and my sexuality. And so, like, as far as the rest of my family, they just found out. I mean, I wasn't very secretive about it. For the most part, everybody was cool. My grandma, she was a little... So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my coming out story. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it and learned more about me and learn what not to do or what to do. Moral of today's video is to love yourself for exactly who you are. You're not hurting yourself, you're not hurting anyone else. As long as those two are at the core, accept yourself for exactly who you are. Embrace your uniqueness. And most importantly, never apologize. Never apologize for who you are. Because the moment you start apologizing for who you are is the moment the world's going to start telling you who you are and you're going to believe them. So never do that. I'm still learning that myself, to be honest. But the more I tell myself that and the more I implement this in my life is the happier I become. it's been a few years since I've like come out to my mom and like people knew I was gay. Like it's been a relief to say the least. And now like I'm happy. I have my beautiful girlfriend. She makes me happier than I ever thought I would be, to be honest. And I'm I don't know, I'm living my best gay ass life. And I couldn't be.
And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm.
Oh, and by the way, we made it to I think we're at 152, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you so much for that. I feel extremely accomplished and I can't wait because, baby, we on the road to 1,000.